We've come now to the quiz portion of tonight's show. The game is simple. We're going to play two pieces of video for you, both from MSNBC over the weekend. You watch them and you tell us who's dumber. The first comes from preacher without a church, Al Sharpton. Sharpton once worked as James Brown's road manager, so he knew Aretha Franklin well. As part of his tribute to the deceased soul singer, he said this.
So in the words of my late friend Aretha Franklin, show some R-E-S-P-I-C-T.
Did you catch that? Watch the short version again. Pay attention to the spelling.
Show some R-E-S-P-I-C-T.
Al Sharpton doesn't have much of a formal education. He started preaching as part of a road show with Mahalia Jackson during elementary school. He never learned to spell even simple words. He frequently makes up verbs out of thin air. If you've watched his show, you know he doesn't read the teleprompter well and couldn't if you held him at gunpoint. Now, Michelle Goldberg of the New York Times, by contrast, is unwaveringly eloquent. She's got an advanced degree from one of our country's most prestigious universities. She's written a couple of books, one attacking Christianity, the other praising abortion, that lots of critics loved. She writes for the most famous newspaper in the world. If you were in journalism and you got 100 on every test they gave you, you'd be Michelle Goldberg. She's the best our system produces. Here's what she said on MSNBC.
This is the most vocal president, at least in real time, that we've had in recent memory, right? He is the leader of the free world.
Oh, no, he's not. He's not the leader of the free world, but sorry. Well, he's part of a bloc that includes Vladimir Putin, Duterte.
Well, he's not rounding people up and murdering them without any, due process.
He'd certainly like to.
Well, anyway. I don't think you can say that definitively.
So who's dumber? It's not really close, is it? And it's not the guy who can't spell respect. He's not stupid. That's why he's been able to game our system for so long. But the other one, Michelle Goldberg, isn't gaming our system. She is our system. That's why her comments and countless comments like hers are so fascinating. Our ruling class loses control in the presence of Trump. It becomes clinically hysterical. What a normal person might consider embarrassing or buffoonish, they find existentially threatening. They abandon reason and proportion and decency. They don't even make sense. What is that about? Well, the short answer is that Trump terrifies them. These are people whose main talents are glibness and obedience, and that's enough to succeed in the globalized economy. That's what the system requires, lemming-like conformity, and that's what they deliver. They're not very impressive. On some level, they know they're not very impressive, and it worries them. Instead of trying to become more impressive, more creative and useful, they maintain their rule by bullying, even as they place themselves outside the bounds of criticism. It's been a very good deal for them. And then 2 years ago, when seemingly out of nowhere, Donald Trump showed up, half unhinged, and started saying all sorts of forbidden things, some of which were demonstrably true. This threatened to expose their ill-gotten power and privilege, and that scared them. They're afraid because they know they're guilty. They've watched the country decline as they have ascended, just as the rest of us have watched. They know what they've done. They understand exactly how much they have to lose by changing the way things are, and that's why they're yelling so loudly.